Development Board approved its plan to bring a firearms industry to Blount County. Since that time, we've had some close calls with a couple of projects we believe would be successful. But even though they did not come to meet our expectations, they did set us up for success by getting us ready for when the most recognizable brand in the firearms industry would come knocking. And we are more than prepared. Events like today are successful because of partnerships. Shaking your egos at the door and pulling together is what Blount County has a reputation in our state for doing. Thank you to our Industrial Development Board, our Chamber of Commerce, our Tourism Board members for pulling together to work on this project and representing the best of Blount County. Thank you to our community's elected leadership for being true partners in our economy. Thank you, Mayor Ed Mitchell, Randy Vineyard, Chairman Ron French, and our entire Blount County Commission for your continued support and engagement in the Blount Partnership. Thank you, the City of Alcoa, Mayor Clint Abbott, City Manager Mark Johnson, Bruce Applegate, Stephanie Coleman, and the entire City Council of Alcoa. Thank you to our Maryville Mayor Andy White, City Manager Greg McLean, and our entire City Council of Maryville. Thank you, Mayor Tom Bickers and the town of Louisville. Thank you also to John Bradley, Heidi Smith, Adam Murray, Derek Collins with TVA for your continued support and investment. Thank you, Mark Cate with Stones River Group. Thank you to TDOT Commissioner Clay Bright, Deputy Commissioner Paul Deggs, Danielle Haywood, Dexter Justice for helping us continue to improve our transportation network in our entire county. Thank you, Commissioner Bobby Rolfe, Deputy Commissioner and former Blount Partnership alumni, Alan Borden, who we're very proud of, and Chasen Haynes for continuing to work great projects in our community. And thank you, Governor Bill Lee, for your continued support and investment in Blount County and in the Second Amendment companies that now permeate Tennessee. Thank you to our legislative representatives in our state capitol, Representative Jerome Moon, Representative Bob Ramsey, Senator Art Swan, Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally, Speaker Cameron Sexton for continuing to invest in our state's economy. Thank you to our Congressman Tim Burchett for his involvement with this wonderful project. And thank you very much for our regional colleagues of Mayor Glenn Jacobs and Mike Odom with the Knoxville Chamber in supporting Blount County's continued economic development. Thank you to our consultants, Chris Soro, C2RL Engineers, Joe Ledford, MBI, Liz Porter, SM&E, Marty Gibbs, and Chuck Mabe with Crispin Company. And thank you, Pellissippi State TCAT, for your continued investment in working with us in workforce development for Smith & Wesson. And lastly, thank you very much, Smith & Wesson, President Mark Smith, Dina McPherson, Luke Harden, and Dave Cooper for investing your future by investing in our community. We will not let you down, and we will earn your respect. It is now my pleasure to introduce a man that is no stranger to Blount County and someone who is always eager to support us in our economy is ECD Commissioner and best friend Bobby Rolfe.
Brian Daniels, thank you very much for those very kind words. And the fact that you already recognized the partnership, because at the end of the day, these great companies that are looking to relocate, invest $125 million, create 750 great family wage jobs, are going to call your neighborhood home. And we are so grateful. As Brian said, my name is Bobby Rolfe, and I have the great privilege of working with our Department of Economic and Community Development at the state. And our job is very straightforward. On behalf of Governor Lee, it's to go out and recruit great companies. Today, you're going to hear from a great company. You're going to understand why we're so proud that Smith & Wesson is calling your community, your neighborhood home. And of course, if we're doing our job, we're recruiting the best. And we're doing that because we all work for the best, and that's Governor Bill Lee. Governor Lee is a business person, as you all know, a gentleman who left the private sector to have one job in politics, and he happens to be the CEO, the Chief Recruiting Officer of the great state of Tennessee. So, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome for our 50th Governor Bill Lee.
Thank you, Bobby. Thank you all. It's a testament to how important and exciting this announcement is to have so many leaders from every part of the region assembled under a tent. But you did choose a really beautiful day to do it. And to those of you who are new to Tennessee or about to be new to Tennessee, that little view right out there is about as beautiful as it gets in America. And we are very grateful that you are going to be sitting right here enjoying that while you transform the lives of many in this region. To Mark and his team at Smith & Wesson, I said to them earlier, I've been bragging about this for weeks now. Everywhere I go, every speech I make, I talk about Tennessee's the lowest tax per capita state in America. Tennessee is the most business-friendly state in America. Tennessee's only one of 7 states in America that had positive economic returns last year. Tennessee was named the best fiscally managed state in America. And what that means is that great American companies like Smith & Wesson, who have the option to choose any state in America to place their corporate headquarters, has chosen the best state in America, and that's Tennessee. And we do believe that we're the right place for your company, but we also recognize that we have to earn that over the next, we've now earned the opportunity to have you come here. Now we get to earn your respect, and we get to prove to you that we are the place that that Smith & Wesson belongs. There's a lot of reasons why, and I just named off a few of them, but there's a lot of reasons why a company like yours is so important to us. I believe that if you really want to change a family's life, then you insert into that family meaningful work. When people have a good job and make a good living for their family, then they're generationally impacted. And that's why we work so hard in this state to attract businesses here. It's why we work so hard to create an environment where our existing businesses can grow and thrive, because there's dignity with work, and work comes with the creation of an opportunity and an environment that creates jobs. So this is a life-changing, it's not only an exciting and a meaningful announcement for our state, and one that is as popular as any corporate announcement that we've made in a long time, but it really matters because it impacts human beings in this state. It impacts families in this state. It impacts lives for good in this state, and that's what matters most to me. So I am I'm proud that every single firearm that is produced by Smith & Wesson that comes out of this plant, that goes into the hands of law-abiding citizens or goes into the hands of those who serve in law enforcement or those who serve in the military. And by the way, those citizens in our state that can carry those without extra permission from the government, as of last year with our constitutional carry bill. I'm proud that every one of those will have Tennessee on the firearm itself. We're grateful, and the men that are here with me from the General Assembly play an important role in this, and I don't want to miss them. So Representative Moon, Bob Ramsey, Senator Swan, Representative Russell. I mention them in particular because our office and the General Assembly work together to make sure that the funding that is appropriately provided for the companies that are going to appropriately change our state. And I commend them for approving the proposals that we put out to incentivize jobs here in this state. But all of the leaders all of the community folks that come together. This didn't happen because of me or us, or it happened because this community came together as leaders, as economic development folks, as business leaders, as community leaders. You came together and you made this happen. You created an environment. God created an environment, but you created a business environment that makes it attractive for companies, great American companies like Smith & Wesson, and we're real proud you're here. Thank you.
Governor Lee, thank you. Thanks so very much. So this all started about 6 months ago, and I share that with you because the first inbound call came to ECD. And if we're doing our job is to showcase all of the assets and available sites for any company that's interested in Tennessee. Our job is not to traffic and where to stand up that next plant. But what was so interesting about that first meeting was that this was originally going to be a manufacturing business at Smith & Wesson, if you don't know, is at maybe its greatest demand ever. And so they originally were looking at, well, how could we expand our manufacturing capabilities? And that's how they showed up on our doorstep. And then Chasen and my colleague Alan Borden, we went to work, and originally it was about just manufacturing. By the second dinner here in Knoxville, or over across the road in Knoxville, this team started talking about, you know what, maybe this is more about a manufacturing facility. And let me say this, ladies and gentlemen, manufacturing is very important. Great jobs that the governor asks us to go out and recruit every day. But when you deliver a headquarters relocation, we call that an extra special trophy. And so I'm getting ready to introduce to you, to the stage, the CEO and president of Smith & Wesson. But before I bring Mark Smith up, I want to thank Deanna McPherson. Thank you very much. Luke Harden, those guys were all part of our very original conversations, that you would have the confidence to bring your CEO to Tennessee to talk about not just great manufacturing opportunities, but a great headquarters. So with no further ado, the president and CEO of Smith & Wesson, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Smith.
So I do have to say that this almost didn't happen, because if anybody has ever driven with Brian, we came here, we took a tour. It was Knox County and Blount County, and the great partnership. I'll talk about that in a second. We took a tour of Knox County, which was very nice and smooth, just being the key word. And then something happened where a chauffeur didn't show up or something, so Brian said, "Yeah, I'll take it. Yeehaw!" And we were going out to dinner, and Dina had to take an Alka-Seltzer and drink a ginger ale so she didn't throw up. So anyway, listen, it's an honor to be with you all this afternoon. Beautiful day, so didn't start out that way, but beautiful day, beautiful site. The future home of the most iconic firearms manufacturer in the world. I might be a little biased, but and look, the process for choosing to move, making a move like this for any organization is very difficult, right? So, but for us, Smith & Wesson, we've got 170 years of history in Springfield, Massachusetts, where Daniel Wesson and Horace Smith founded our company in 1852. So for us, it was especially difficult. So we could not get that wrong, right? We had to choose a location that was right for us, not just for today, but for generations to come, right? And as the folks from Smith & Wesson have heard me say many a time, Smith & Wesson is successful because of our people and because of our culture. So we are just hardworking. We're passionate about our products, about our industry. We're fierce defenders of our Constitution, the American way of life. And we're here today because from the moment we arrived here in Tennessee, there was no doubt that this state and all you people share those core values with us. And I have no doubt whatsoever that our culture and our company will continue to thrive here, not just because our culture will be welcomed, because it will be strengthened by being here. So, yeah, from the moment we stepped off that plane, we felt that Southern hospitality, well, some of that Southern hospitality. We felt your appreciation for the Second Amendment, your work ethic, your beautiful state, and we truly felt at home, right? I remember Luke coming up to me when Luke did a bunch of tours and went to a bunch of different states, and he said, I think we found it. I didn't, this was the one location where I spent the most time. We immediately knew, so we felt at home. And every single organization and person that you dealt with, I know Brian mentioned a lot of these, but I'm going to do it again. The great University of Tennessee, both Blount and Knox County economic development teams, the sheriff, who we went to his house and had a wonderful meal, Tennessee Department of Transportation, Chrisman, all the engineers, contractors who evaluated this site and many others for us, the mayors, local government officials, Commissioner, Governor Lee, all the state level folks, and I'm sure I'm missing somebody, but it was remarkable, truly remarkable, and Brian mentioned this, to see how proud all of you are of your state and how you all work together seamlessly as one, right? And you not only did you do that, but you also delivered on every single promise that you made, right? And in today's world of so many broken promises, it's nice to see that in Tennessee, you guys still hold dear to that American ideal that your word is your honor and your handshake's as good as a contract. So thank you. I also definitely want to recognize our unbelievable employees of Smith & Wesson, who are represented here by the core team, who worked on this project tirelessly over the last 6 months, months upon months of long hours, in spite of running the company flawlessly through truly the busiest time that Firearms has ever seen in the history of the country. So without them, this simply wouldn't be possible. And we're also joined here today by Bob Scott, who's our chairman of the board. And Bob, along with the rest of the board, has provided unwavering support for us through this project. And of course, Dave Cooper, who has guided us through uncharted waters and is a Gold Star advisor for anybody looking to relocate to Knoxville, of course. So anyway, I don't want to take up too much more time, but I do want to just say what we're going to do in return for the hospitality that you have all shown us, okay? So that partnership, and Brian talked about it, truly is, and we truly do believe that all of our partnerships have to be two-way streets. So as an organization, we are committed always to giving back to the communities that we live and work in. We have already started to look for local charities and organizations to partner with, not just financially, but also to provide company-sponsored volunteer opportunities. We will work together. We met. We actually randomly ran into Randy Boyd just earlier in the airport. So we'll work together with the world-class educational institutions that you have here in the greater Knoxville area, to make sure that we can do whatever we can to ensure that those students have the skills, not just the work skills, the life skills, the tools they need to be successful in their careers wherever they choose to go. But if they do come to work for us at Smith & Wesson after they graduate high school, voc school, or college, we are committed that we will always provide a good working wage that those folks can support themselves and their families on. And of course, our benefits program is second to none and does include, for anybody interested, a 50% discount on firearms. So. So anyway, just wanted to say thank you very much for all of us for joining us to help us celebrate this historic moment. There's been an unbelievable amount of work that has gone into getting us here in an extremely short amount of time. Dave, have you ever done one this quick? I don't know where Dave is, but no. We are beyond excited to finally be here, be able to break ground on the future home of Smith & Wesson, the great state of Tennessee. Thank you.
See what I mean? One of the great CEOs. And I say that to you all because can you imagine going to your community that's been home for 170 years to say that we are going to be leaving that community? And I'm not talking about leaving. They will continue to have great jobs in Springfield, Massachusetts. But at the same time, the culture that Mark Smith spoke of all starts at the top with his chairman, Bob, and his board. and a great leadership team. And the great news is they are going to be calling your community home. Brian, I didn't know that you were such a bad driver. I think TDOT has some driving safety. Governor, does that fall under TDOT, sir? Okay. Brian, we love you. I couldn't help myself. All right, so we're about to wrap up things. But before we do that, at the end of the day, it's about exceptional local leadership. And of course, Brian and his team provides that. At the end of the day, it's also about a great group of local mayors. And so the Blount County Mayor, would you please come up? Ed Mitchell, the Maryville Mayor, Andy White, and the Alcoa Mayor, Clint Abbott. And I'm going to step aside, and you guys are going to say your thank yous, and then we'll wrap up and be about our day. So, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. I am Andy White. I am the mayor of Maryville. And first things first, welcome home, Smith and Wesson. The city of Maryville has a rich 226-year history, and today it gets even richer. Since the announcement was made, everywhere I go, Smith and Wesson is the topic of discussion. There's an excitement in the air to have such a well-known and respected brand joining our wonderful community. Our community stands ready to prove to you and to your employees that your choice to move here was and continues to be the right decision. I am positive that you will love this place just as much as all of us do. East Tennessee, Blount County, and Maryville have a great number of assets and amenities to offer to you, but our greatest offer is the friendship of the wonderful people who live here. We are glad to count you now as part of us. Again, welcome home, Smith & Wesson.
I am Clint Abbott, Mayor of the City of Alcoa, and representing City Manager Mark Johnson and Deputy Manager Bruce Applegate and the rest of my fellow city commissioners. Welcome. We look forward to working with you, and if we can ever be of any service at all, our door is always open. Thank you.
Well, they asked me to talk fast, but I can't. So y'all will get used to that, Mark. Now, I want to say welcome, and I've had the opportunity to meet with some of the leadership from Smith & Wesson, and they're the real deal. They're one of us. They're going to fit in absolutely amazing in this community because they feel like we do. And one of the things that makes this community so special is the fact that we all work together. In Blount County, we all work together, but not just in Blount County. In the whole region, we work together. I mean, when the announcement was made that Smith & Wesson was coming to Blount County, I mean, my emails and texts blew up from the mayors from around Blount County, the region, who I consider some of my dearest friends. And two of them are here right now, two of the counties that are here right now that will be affected by Smith & Wesson, because there are going to probably be a lot of people coming here to work from those counties. And Mayor Bradshaw from Loudoun County and Mayor Terry Franks from Anderson County's here. And thank you all very much for being here, and thank you all for being so much a part of what makes this whole region and what makes this area work. Also, one of the other emails I got was from Mayor Jacobs, and I'm just glad it was an email because he didn't sound happy. And I didn't know whether to call him or just hide, because I didn't know where it was going to end up when I finally did see him. And then finally, I guess he felt sorry for me, so he called me and said congratulations. But Mayor Jacobs is a part of what makes all of this work, you know. And we talk about it. It's a recipe that has a great secret sauce, and the secret sauce is all of us working together for the common good of this community, Blount County, and this region. And that's exactly what it's all about. I think y'all are going to see that. I think you're going to find out exactly how special it is. And I promise you, in 170 years, those people that are standing right here, y'all are going to be best friends. They're going to support you. They're going to love you. And they're going to be as big a part of making Smith & Wesson success as you all are, because the community is going to be with you today, and they're going to be with you from now on. So thank you all very much for coming.
That's okay. Yeah, I called Ed and I was like, man, congratulations. I hate you a little bit, but congratulations, because it did come down between Knox County and Blount County. But we are thrilled that Smith & Wesson is in East Tennessee. And thank you to everybody that had something to do with this, and congratulations. As Ed mentioned, our colleagues, Mayor Buddy Bradshaw from Loudoun County and Mayor Terry Frank from Anderson County are here because we all understand this is not only a big deal for Blount County, it's a big deal for our entire region. And the people that work in this facility, you know, they will live, they'll play, they'll shop, and they'll eat in Knox County, in Blount County, and Anderson County. So the buildings might be here, but Smith & Wesson is going to have a major impact on our entire region. Congratulations to you all. You're going to love it here. This is a great place. You've made a wonderful choice. We have an incomparable quality of life, unmatched outdoor recreational resources, affordable cost of living, and we're also gun friendly. Nearly every county in our region is a Second Amendment constitutional county, meaning that we take gun rights seriously, and that includes manufacturers. Part of the reason Smith & Wesson moved here is because northern politicians want to ban the production of so-called assault weapons. I don't make many promises. That's a dangerous game in politics, but I can pretty much guarantee you that ain't going to happen here in the state of Tennessee. And I also think that Smith & Wesson will end up being an anchor for an entire industry when the word continues to get out about our area and how much you all love it here. So thank you in advance for making our region an even better place to live, to work, and to raise a family. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're just about the home stretch. Before we exit to your left to pick up some shovels, I do want to take just a quick minute. I believe everybody has been thanked, but certainly on behalf of ECD, Alan Borden, Chasen, thank you guys again for delivering. And of course, Dave Cooper, thank you for bringing this great company to look at Tennessee. So Governor Lee, I guess we always close out with a report card, sir. I love to wrap up these great announcements and groundbreakings with a report card. A 170-year-old company, a publicly traded company, a global brand, 750 great family wage jobs that you ask us to always seek, $125 million of CapEx. And the best for last, Smith & Wesson, who's not only going to bring their headquarters here, they're going to bring research and development, they're going to bring distribution, and they're going to bring manufacturing. And ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a campus second to none. And the reason we know that is we've really become close to this company. And our job's not over. As the community, Brian, your team, we're just beginning. But I can promise everybody here, this will be an exceptional, extraordinary company that's coming to your community, and we are so excited. And so with that, we'll wrap up by saying to Smith & Wesson, to Mark, to Bob, and your team, your leadership, you now are the 20th arms manufacturing and ammunitions company that now calls Tennessee home. And perhaps we've maybe saved the best for today. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thanks for being here this morning. Brian, again, thank you for everything you do. And I believe for those speakers and leaders, our members of our General Assembly, and Governor Lee mentioned, thank you guys, because you do fund the opportunity to allow us to create what we call appropriate incentive dollars to offset some of these enormous expenses. So we'll exit stage here and have a great photo op. And like the governor said, this probably is a prettiest setting, and you guys are used to this. You see this every day. But for us that get to come here, we're always reminded what a beautiful part. So have a great day.
We just got our grading permit, so we're going to be here a while as we grade out. 800,000 yards, actually. right, thank you all for coming and have a great day. Thank you all. If you want some refreshments, we have them in the tent. Thank you.